What's up, guys? Welcome back to El Merengue Cule. It is time for the Champions League quarterfinals, and not just the Champions League quarterfinals, but we have a special Champions League, a Champions League that is only one leg, and I think this is going to be really interesting. It's going to really bring out the very best of teams. If only Real Madrid was still in it.
Come on, get over it. Let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm super excited for this video. So let's get started with the Atalanta PSG game. So for starters, Atalanta has scored 98 goals in 38 games. That is amazing. And at first, it's a team that is super easy to overlook.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have a big history, they don't have a big club, they don't have a big budget. And at first I overlooked them, but the more I did research on them, the more they started to convince me. You know, they have players nimble like Gomez and strong like Zapata, and their striker or attacking partnership has made Atalanta a very attacking team. Now the weaknesses are in the defense, but they are playing PSG, who is in a sense similar. You know, they're attacking, that's what they're known for, right? They've got Neymar, we'll see if Mbappe makes there, right? He's on the list, but he is not certain whether he's back from injury or not. Verratti, again, he's also on the list. Not sure if he'll be there or not. Di Maria is actually suspended. He won't be there. Okay. But again, PSG, they lack in defense, I think. At least in this season, that's where they lack the most. PSG has been in a very strong form, beating teams, 7-0, 9-0. But these have been friendlies. And they haven't been against the toughest opponents. They have Lyon ended before at the pandemic. It did not restart. So will they be in game fitness?
Yeah.
That's a question for sure. And Atalanta, you can't forget to mention their 20-game unbeaten run. Go ahead, tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think a lot of people overlook, like you said, they overlook Atalanta. They're like, oh, they're just a third-place team in Serie A, and the fact that they don't really have much of a history in the Champions League. This is the first time they ever make it this far. But, I mean, you said it perfectly. They have players. They have a great offense. I think 98 goals in one season. That is absolutely insane. They had multiple games where they won 6-7-0 in the Serie A. So there's no doubt in their attacking force. Gomez, top assister, and then Zapata, 18 goals this season. So yeah, they're definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. I think you basically covered it all for both of them. Atalanta, for PSG. I also wanted to just kind of remind you guys that their league didn't restart, so they're probably not in as good a form. And all the friendlies that they did to prepare for whatever cup finals they had in the Champions League, they were against easy teams. All of them, they won like 9-0, 10-0, making it look like, oh, PSG's on fire. But I think it was kind of masked. And then when they got to the cup finals, they went to penalties in one of them, and they won the other one. I think it was just like 1-0.
And it was before Merengue got the red card.
Yeah, exactly. And so the fact that Mbappe is coming kind of like with a question mark, I think Mbappe could be a factor, if they're using him as maybe like a scare tactic, but I personally feel like he's not ready.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's going to be ready. However, I want to hear what your score prediction is.
Both teams are going to score. I know this.
Yeah.
I know
it's going to be a goal thriller for sure.
And I don't see PSG scoring 1. I see him scoring at least 2, but Atalanta, I see him scoring 2 as well. So I'm predicting a 2-2. Taking a PKs and Atalanta takes it on top. I'm going for the upset.
Oh, that's a big upset.
Yeah.
That is a big upset. Okay. I agree with you that it's going to be a goal thriller. However, I am not going to predict that upset just yet. I think PSG is going to take the victory, but 3-2. Neymar will definitely bag himself a goal.
Has to.
1 or 2. But, like I said, Atalanta will definitely give them a run for their money. Okay, so moving on to Thursday's matchup, which is RB Leipzig against Atletico Madrid. What do you have to say about this game?
So first of all, Atleti's a La Liga team. I will always back a La Liga team against any other sort of team. But RB Leipzig, you could debate they've been a bit lucky getting into this stage of the Champions League. They've scored 8 goals. That's not bad. Yeah. Keep in mind, 4 of them have been penalties. Yes. So again, a little bit deceiving. They no longer have Werner. I think that's the biggest loss for them. Werner was the
already training with Chelsea, moved on to London.
Yeah, and they beat Spurs. That's fantastic for them. But it is a weak Spurs. Another factor to consider is that Bundesliga was the earliest to end because it started the earliest. So they have been sitting down for longer. I don't know if that could be good. They've had more time to kind of heal up and recharge. or maybe it's a little too much time and that level is starting to decrease. In terms of Atleti, we know them. We know Simeone's tactics are perfect for this type of game.
Yeah.
Technically, he's better at
game.
He's definitely better at the one game. And I mean, their clean sheets, you know, with all black in between the posts, he never goes unnoticed in these types of games. And I mean, they've gone 11 games unbeaten. So
yeah, ever since the restart, Atleti did not lose a single matchup, which I think is massive. Like you said, their defense absolutely colossal for these type of games. This is like what they're made of, what they're built for. It seems that they have a full team. They don't really have any injuries. They did have, however, 2 players test positive for COVID-19. One of them being Angel Correa and the other one being Versalico. So both players that normally play on the right side. Angel Correa definitely plays a lot. Versalico probably wouldn't have played because Karen Trippier has been having a pretty good season. However, in the side of RB Leipzig, just like you said, I think their lack of form in terms of how many minutes they've played recently because the La Bundesliga ended so early. I think that's definitely going to play a factor. And I think one thing you forgot to mention is the fact that the player that scored most of their goals against Tottenham, Marcel Sabitzer, is not going to be that game. So you take out Werner, you take out Sabitzer, who's like, you know, one of their top players. Yeah. And I think Leipzig is basically pretty self-destructive right there. So what do you think is the final score?
Predicting a 3-0. And maybe 3 is a little too much because Atleti has been having trouble scoring, but I think this Leipzig team is going to be too hurt.
Yeah, I definitely see that as a relatively easy win for Atletico. I think just 2-0. You know, I was thinking of the 1-0, but I think they should be able to get a second one in the net. Okay, and with that being said, before we move on to the third matchup, the Bayern-Barcelona game, I want to remind you guys that if you're enjoying this video, please make sure you hit the like button down below. Now, is there a certain like limit that we want to reach? Not limit, but a target we want to reach?
So you guys did a fantastic job on the game between Madrid and City. You guys managed to hit over 420 views and 17 likes. Guys, I think we can do it. If we ride this wave, can we hit 25 likes?
Let's do it. Go hit the like button down below. Come on. Go hit it down below. Okay, let's move on to the Barca-Bayern game. I think the best game that we have out of these 4 matchups, a colossal game. I mean, we know the history they have with each other. The last time they played, the last couple times that they played in the Champions League have been one a huge win for Bayern, and then one a huge win for Barca, and leaves us the reminder of the Boateng and Messi.
Definitely. So let's start off with Bayern. I mean, based on current form, they look to be the favorites.
Yes.
I think right now you could make a very strong argument they're the best team in the world. I think you can argue that.
Okay, you can make the argument. Yes.
Again, you talked about that matchup between Barca and Bayern. And that Boateng when Messi put him to the floor and then Dink Neuer. I think Bayern is going to look to redeem themselves. They cannot have another embarrassment like that. Because, a goal like that hurts their name. It does. I mean, it's still remembered and it happened how many years ago? And, let's talk about Lewa. I mean, this guy has been... I think he would have been a shoo-in for the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
54 goals.
Yeah.
54 goals.
Incredible.
I think this game, he's bound to score. I don't see him not scoring.
Yeah, he basically always scores.
Yeah. I mean, they've gone on an 18 winning streak, not unbeaten, winning every single time, winning for 18 straight games. I think this Bayern team is strong. Now let's move on to Barcelona. You can never write out Barcelona. I mean, with Messi alone, if he shows up to the game, it's Barca's game. That's what it comes down to. If Messi shows up, it's Barca's game. And in my opinion, coming off from the game against Napoli, we played fantastic. I think we showed very good movement. However, I would have liked Griezmann a little bit more protagonistic in that game. And I think this is what it'll come down to. If Griezmann is able to show up along with Messi, if they're able to link well, I think that's what's going to make the difference. I think the fact that it's a one-legged game actually helps us. Because as technically, from an outsider's perspective, we're kind of like the underdogs on this one. So I think that one match, I think we can pull it off.
100%. I think we can. It most definitely can happen. I think another player that Barca's really going to have to look out for in Bayern is Alphonso Davies.
Oh, he's been on fire.
Yeah. You know him. He's built fast. Like, And right now with a Barca team that doesn't seem to have the most pacey strikers up there, Messi's not as fast. I mean, obviously
Suarez
he's still fast.
slow.
Suarez is slower. Griezmann I don't see as the fastest player. So Bayern their defense is just very, very solid.
Yeah.
And Barca really struggles against teams that have a very solid defensive team. And not only that, but they actually can attack.
Definitely.
So the Bayern is definitely one of the teams to beat in this Champions League. And then meanwhile, just like you were saying, I think the format of the Champions League heavily benefits Barcelona.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go out and say it right now. I think this is Barcelona's best shot at winning the Champions League for the rest of Messi's career.
Yeah, I do too.
I think this is it. If Barcelona doesn't win this Champions League, Messi is not going to win another Champions League. I'm going to say that.
And I think the Barcelona team knows this. And I think they're going out there with everything. They have nothing to lose.
Yeah, and I think lastly, before we move on to the score prediction, it's going to be very beneficial for them the fact that they're getting Sergio Busquets and Arturo Vidal back. So their midfield, yes, even though they played pretty recently, it's going to be a little bit rejuvenated, or not quite rejuvenated, but a little more, stamina, bringing their players that are not as fatigued, and so that will definitely be big for them. Okay,
so we talked about Lewandowski scoring, but I think Barca's going to take this one. I think it's going to be a 2-1, and it's going to be 2 early Barca goals. I'm talking within the first 25 minutes, going 2-0 up. Lewa getting it back in the 35th, and then those last 25 minutes are going to be hell for Barca. We know we're not the best teams in the later stages of the game, and I think it's going to be hell. I think we're going to have to sit back, play not the way we want to, but play the way we have to. And we're going to get that 2-1 victory in advance.
Okay. I actually, contrary to what people would think, I think it's going to be very similar to what you would describe. I think Barca is going to get an early goal, except Bayern is going to be able to tie it. And then Barca is going to be able to break through. And then, just like you said, in those final minutes, they're going to be struggling, they're going to be fighting, but they're going to get a counterattack. And a player like Griezmann could put it away. I think they're going to take that game actually 3-1. However, it's going to be very tolling on them, and then we'll see what effect that has to them.
That's happened before
in the next game, which will be in a couple days from here.
Definitely.
So we'll see how that goes. I think that's going to be definitely the best game, the game to be most excited for, which will be on Friday.
So guys, if you're new to the channel, if you haven't been here before, please hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before and aren't yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? And now let's get on to that final match of the quarterfinals. Man City versus Lyon. I mean, Man City played fantastic against Madrid. They did a fantastic job of pressing them. Yes, but I made mistakes, but I think it was merit to the way City pressed. They play on the opponent's mistakes and then take advantage of them. They're fantastic on the wings, and I think that'll cause Lyon a lot of damage. I think that's where Lyon is the weakest on the wings. Something that Juventus didn't quite take full advantage of, and I think that's kind of what was the problem.
Yeah.
Lyon, again, you can argue they got a little lucky to get past Juve, and again, the Lyon ended before the pandemic, and they haven't really played much. I don't think they're in the best of forms, not maybe without much confidence. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the easier games to predict, in my opinion. A Man City that's just absolutely on fire right now. I mean, they completely outclassed Real Madrid in that game. And yes, Real Madrid self-destructed, but Man City really just looked better than them the majority of the game. And on top of that, they have players like that we've talked about before. De Bruyne, Sterling. These players are gonna punish you. They're not gonna let you go without getting punished. And so I don't think Lyon is quite prepared for these stages. I don't even think they expected to beat Juventus. It kind of they got that early goal against them, and then they were able to. I mean, they're still a good team, obviously, but I don't think they expected to be here at this moment, and then now to face a giant, not a historical giant, but a current giant like Manchester City.
Definitely.
It's definitely going to be a tough task. So, I mean, what do you think for your score?
I'm predicting another 3-0.
Yeah, I was going to say the same score.
More.
3-0 minimum for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's 3-0 too.
Okay, guys, so this concludes the matchups. Now, this is where we ask of you to drop a comment. We're super curious of what you guys think, and as a bonus, you could even add there a score prediction. Why not? And I think next video, when we introduce the semifinals, we'll definitely bring in some of those comments and talk about what happened and what didn't happen.
Yeah.
So definitely drop a comment below. And if you enjoyed the video, hit a like. Again, we're trying to aim for that 25 like target. We'll welcome you to the Merengue Cule family.
We will see you next video and peace out.